Hi everyone, my name's Jordan and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my January TBR. I have a very ambitious list here. There is no guarantee I will get to all of these, but this is what I want to try to get to in January. So without further ado, let's get into it. First up is part of a read-along. I'm reading Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. There is a huge Song of Ice and Fire read-along happening over on Joanna's channel. I will link the kickoff video down below. I am so pumped to be rereading this series. I've already started Game of Thrones. I'm about 25% into it and really liking it more this time than I did the first time around, which I thought I would, but happy to be proven correct. So reading this now, join this read-along if you weren't already planning on it. It's going to be a blast, and there are so many people that are going to be reading these, so like even if you have no interest in it, just like do it anyway, because it's so fun to read books with a bunch of people, and there are so many people doing this read-along. So read Game of Thrones this next month. Next up is part of a read-along that I am co-hosting, and that is Gardens of the Moon by Steven Erikson. I'm co-hosting this video with Alex over on Tall Guy Reads, Josh over on Red Fury Books, and Ian from Ian the Reader. I will post our kickoff video for this read-along down below, but we are going to be reading all of Malazan Book of the Fallen. This is going to start at one a month, but it will probably grow from there because these books are chunky. So there's no guarantee that we are going to keep it one a month. Actually, I can guarantee we will not be keeping it one a month for long. But for now, for January, we will be reading Gardens of the Moon. I am incredibly intimidated and incredibly excited at this exact same time to read this series. I've heard so much about it. I've heard it's dense and dark and very, very emotional. So I'm excited for it because I love emotional reads. I love character-driven reads, and I've heard characters in here are phenomenal. But I'm also nervous because they're huge and dense. So excited and nervous for this, but come join us for this read-along. This is a very well-known series that is many people's favorites of all time. So let's all go read it together and see if it will become our favorites as well. Next up, I have City of Dragons and Blood of Dragons by Robin Hobb. This is the third and the fourth book in the Rainwild Chronicles, which is the fourth series in the Realm of the Elderlings. And I've already started City of Dragons. I'm like 35% into the audiobook. This series is most people's least favorite of the five. While they still enjoy it, it's just not as good as the other five. I'm really enjoying it, but I kind of am agreeing with most everyone else, but I still think it's great. Robin Hobb can't write a bad character. She can't write a bad plot line. So overall, I'm still really enjoying it. And there's lots of dragons, which is always fun. I love dragons. But anyway, excited to be wrapping up this series so I can move on to the last series of the Realm of the Elderlings, which is terrifying because what will I do with myself? I mean, I'm going to read Robin Hobb's other series that's not part of the Realm of the Elderlings, so still, what will I do with myself? Next up, I'm going to be reading City of Last Chances by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is a fantasy book, not sci-fi. It will be my first book by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I've never read any of his books, but I've heard great things. And the reason I'm reading this is because I had an ARC for it, and I missed that window. It came out in December, so I need to read it in January. And I think my library has an audiobook, so I'm going to try to kick this one out at some point in January. And I think I might be buddy reading it with Kyle over on Read by Kyle. So hopefully that'll keep me honest, and I will actually read it this month. So excited to read it. I don't know a whole lot about it, but the cover is absolutely phenomenal, and I've heard only good things about Adrian Tchaikovsky's writing, so I'm pretty excited to read this. Next up, I have another arc that I am ahead of the game on. It comes out in February, and that is The Fifth Horseman by John Smith. I don't know a whole lot about this one. I think the cover's cool, and I believe it is like a comedy fantasy. I hope I'm not confusing that with another one of the arcs I have, but I think that's what this is. Again, I know next to nothing about it, but I am excited to read it, and I do hope to get to it in January so I can review it actually before the book comes out. That's the hope. Next up, I'm going to be continuing on with The Expanse and reading Nemesis Games by James S. A. Corey. This is the fifth book in the Expanse series. I just talked about in my December wrap-up how much I'm enjoying the Expanse series at this point. In December, I read the fourth and the No, I read the third and the fourth book, so I'm fully invested at this point. I really think these books are absolutely phenomenal. I'm really loving these books, so I'm really excited to continue on with the series. I'm fully invested in this series at this point. This is a very political space opera story. It's got the TV show, I think, on Amazon Prime that I have not watched, but I'm really, really liking the series at this point. I'm excited to continue it. I think there's 9 books, but I'm trying to also read all the novellas and short stories in there too, so it's quite a bit, but I am knocking through them. We're kind of getting into my, this is more like an MBR at this point. The rest of these on this list I really want to get to, but there's no guarantee I will because some of these are chunkers. But for example, I want to try to read The Veiled Throne by Kin Liu. This is the 3rd book in the Dandelion Dynasty, and I've heard that this one is not many people's favorites because, if I'm remembering correctly from what other people have said, I think that this one and the 4th one were one book that he split in half, which, understandably so, these are huge. How did he think this could be one book? But anyway, I'm really hoping to get to this one this month. I just read Wall of Storms in December and really enjoyed it. It really wrapped me back into the story because the first one I liked, didn't love. So I'm excited to get to this one. I think that I'm gonna like it. I hope I'm gonna like it. I'm just excited to wrap the series up because so many people say it's their favorite series of all time, and I'm excited to read Speaking Bones because I think ends of series are normally my favorite parts of series, and I normally like the last book the best, so I'm really hoping that that is the case with this one because so far I liked Wall of Storms a lot, so excited to read Veiled Throne. Next up, Ive Proven Guilty by Jim Butcher. This is the I don't know what number book this is, but it's part of the Dresden Files series. I recently read Deadbeat. I think it was Deadbeat that I read. I think that was the last one I read, and I actually enjoyed it. It was the first Dresden book that I was actually excited to read, and I enjoyed reading all of it, and it has got me more excited to continue with Dresden Files. So I want to try to get to this. These are shorter, so I'm hoping I can get to this month. I'm excited for it. I want to get to all of the Dresden books where everyone is like, this is changing the game. And so I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get through all of this more detective-y ones and get more to the like epic fantasy ones. So I'm excited to continue. Next up, I have Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. This is the 2nd book in the Alex Stern series. First one is Ninth House, and this is coming out in January. And I am very excited for it. It is one of my most anticipated releases of 2023. I will link my video of all of my anticipated releases below. But this is the first one coming out in 2023, and I'm so excited for it. I really, really loved Ninth House. I just re-listened to it in December to kind of get ready for this release, and loved it even more the second time through. So I'm so excited to read this book this month. Next up, I want to try to wrap up the Naruto mangas. I still have volumes 69 through 72 to go, and then I'm finished. So I'm going to try to wrap those up. They don't take me very long to read. It's just finding the time to squeeze them in. So I'm hoping I can crank these out this month and be done with Naruto, and then maybe have a few Naruto videos coming up after that. And then last but not least, another MBR. I do not know if I'm going to be able to squeeze this in, but I want to, and that is The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien. I recently talked about my December wrap-up that I finally read The Fellowship of the Ring and actually really liked it. And so I'm excited to continue. I almost just went and picked this up, but I decided no, I had other priorities. But these covers, I love these editions I've gotten. The covers are all so beautiful, and the spines look really good next to each other. So I'm really excited to read this. I'm hoping that this becomes one of my favorite series of all time, like it is for so many others. But yeah, so excited to get to this. If I don't, I want to try for sure to get to it in February, but I want to try to get to it in January. We'll see how good my month is. Editing Jordan here to say I completely forgot about my 12 books from 12 booktubers. So I'm going to put here my spinner wheel. My spinner wheel has chosen, The Righteous Mind by Jonathan Haidt, which was recommended to me by Kyle over on Read by Kyle. So I will also for sure be reading this in January. Sorry, I forgot about this. I was trying to rush through filming this video because I have a lot to do today. So my bad. Anyway, I will also be reading this in January. Thank you guys. And that is all the books I want to get to in January. It's a pretty ambitious list, but I'm going to try. My December ended up being really great, so I'm going to really try to get to all these, or if not all of these, some more, or whatever. These are never promises, these are just goals, but if I break it, that's fine. I'm reading what I like. If you could please like, comment, and subscribe, let me know down below what you're planning on reading in January, and if you're joining along with any of these read-alongs. I really hope you are, because they are going to be so much fun. You could hit the notification bell to be notified every time I post new videos. As always, your support means the world to me, and until next time, thank you guys.